Greetings everyone on the internet, this is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. Today we're doing a full review of a new guitar from Taylor, or really a revamp of an existing model. This is the Taylor 524 CE. The 524 is part of the 500 series from Taylor, which is their line of all solid wood mahogany guitars, mahogany back and sides, and you have an option on the top of either spruce, cedar, or mahogany. The 524 is an all mahogany guitar. So anytime with Taylor's numbering system, the 5 represents the series. That's going to give you your combination of tone woods, aesthetics like finishes and inlays and so forth. It's also then going to move on to the next one, which is the middle number, in this case 2. That's going to denote what the top is. So 1 on this would be spruce or cedar. If it's a hard top, it's 2. Okay? And then the last one is the body shape 4 for Grand Auditorium. Now, if you've been watching any of our videos, you know that the Grand Auditorium line has a new bracing scheme called the V-Class bracing. This is a new style of bracing that Andy Powers developed, and the bracing is really the sonic engine of the guitar. It's what makes it go, what gives it its initial response and tone. And so when you're putting it through all of these guitars, the things that made the guitar what it was before are still present. So we'll talk about what happens with a Grand Auditorium size all mahogany guitar, but the new bracing gives it more volume, gives it more sustain, and it improves the intonation. If you haven't watched one of the V bracing guitars that we've done, then I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how that happens. So basically, instead of an X brace, which would go across, V bracing is 2 parallel braces that run on a V-shaped down till they hit the end block on the guitar. Then there's basically some fan bracing to support that. The result is that the middle of the guitar, where the strings are, this kind of plane, if you will, is more rigid, it's stronger, okay, and doesn't move as much, but that allows the sides of the top to be more lightly braced. And that projects more, gives you more volume and a richer tone because the top's moving more in that area. Now, because the top's moving in a more uniform fashion, and partly because the middle is more rigid, the intonation is improved. So a lot of the notes we play up the neck, particularly in a triad where it would be a little bit off on an acoustic guitar, they're not. There is improved intonation so that your note from note, octaves and triads and so forth, are in tune. The example that I've given is that if you play an E, after tuning the guitar, usually it's in tune, but then if you play a D, it's a little off and you have to kind of adjust it depending upon the key you're in. That's gone with the new bracing scheme, and you get more volume and you get more sustain. So that is all very, very cool. Taylor's moving that through their lineup of American-made Grand Auditorium guitars, and we're glad to finally have a 500 series with it. Now, let's talk about what that does in a mahogany guitar. Mahogany has a very even, mid-range rich tone to it. So mahogany on the back and sides of a guitar, rather than yielding the really rich bass response of rosewood or the really high treble response of rosewood, it's going to kind of bring it in the middle, so to speak. And it has a real rich mid-range, so you have kind of this smaller bell curve with this mid-range bump in the middle. That's characteristic of mahogany on the back and sides. When you use a hardwood top like mahogany, then you even out a lot of the dynamics because you create natural compression. So if you play lighter or if you play harder, all of that's kind of evened out. And you get this real nice snap to it if you really, really dig in. It kind of gets more focused, like a good tube amp, you know, when you're really saturating those tubes and you're getting that kind of squishiness out of it. That's what you get out of a guitar with a hardwood top, or in this case, an all mahogany guitar. So we can expect a very focused mid-range rich tone with even compression and a snappiness to it when we lay into it. In a Grand Auditorium size guitar, we kind of call this, or I call this, the Swiss Army knife for the do-all guitar because it handles finger picking and strumming and flat picking and all that with aplomb. It does everything pretty well. And so it's a really good guitar if you want to do a variety of styles. If you want to dig in, if you want to strum a little hard, but at times you may want to pick lightly. The smaller top, the tighter waist, makes it a very comfortable guitar for that and helps it to respond well to both a medium to light attack. Rest of the guitar, this particular model comes with faux tortoiseshell binding, so no tortoises were harmed in the production of this guitar. It has grained ivoroid along with the tortoiseshell on the rosette and around the border of the top. This grained ivoroid is used on the inlay, which is one of my favorites that Taylor does. This is called the Century inlay. And now that the V series guitars have come out, they are all being adorned with a headstock inlay, which is nice. So you get this really cool, beautiful kind of bouquet, if you will, ivoroid Century inlay on the headstock. And the entire guitar in mahogany is finished off with a gloss finish in this nice edge burst. So it's really beautiful, it's subtle, it's understated, and it has a bit of a neo-vintage vibe because it's a very modern guitar, but it has some kind of a vintage aesthetic and sound going along with it. So with all that being said, we're going to play the guitar and you can hear the sonic attributes of this wonderful instrument. Check it out. Hey everyone, I want to thank you for watching the videos that we produce. We put these out to help you choose the right guitar, understand some of the options that are out there, and to showcase some of the latest models that you may not get the opportunity to play in your local music store. If you have benefited or enjoyed watching any of our videos, then I want to tell you how you can help us to make more. We have created a new t-shirt just for guitar nuts like you and me. It's this. It says, "I'm a guitar nut." So if you're like me, you are a guitar nut. And if you're also like me, walking around naked is probably an offense. So we want you to have this shirt. Follow the link, go to our website. These are going to be limited time, and you can put in a pre-order for it now. They will be shipping soon. Once they're gone, they're gone. So follow the link below and get your guitar nut shirt that only you and other guitar players will understand with a knowing wink. Thanks again for watching.